Hello and welcome to Founders Treasure, the podcast where I share unique and inspiring stories that empower you to build your business. Today's guest is Jenn Noble, a relationship coach, TEDx speaker, author, and podcast host who is passionate about helping people build healthier and most honest relationships. What really stands out about Jen is how she turns her own experiences and challenges into meaningful work that now help others communicate better, grow with confidence, and build stronger connections. So, if you want to level up your business skills, you are at the right place. With that, let's talk to Jen. Jen, I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me on, Nidhi. I'm so excited to be here.
Welcome to Founders Treasure. I am really looking forward to our conversation today. So, let me start with the beginning and let's get to know you a little better. So, tell us about your hobbies and interests growing up.
Yeah, so growing up, I was really into sports a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I did have a dad that was very into coaching us, coached all three of my siblings. And so that gave me this kind of competitive nature, this edge that I have, and just this kind of increasing need to better myself at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Take that what you will. Having your dad as your coach is both a blessing and a curse at the exact same time because he will hold you to a lot higher standards.
Mm-hmm.
But I hold myself to those standards now, and I've been trying to learn how to balance out what is the healthy way to have that standard and what is the not so healthy way to have it. But that's essentially me growing up
Mm-hmm.
into sports, into all of that stuff. I had a bit of a tumultuous childhood. I didn't have the healthiest or most secure relationship with my family, as we'll talk about later in terms of what secure means. But at the same time, I can appreciate and understand now why it is that I am the way today because of what happened in childhood.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Uh, Good to know about that. You were totally into sports and your dad coached you. So, Jen, tell me about your educational background and your career journey.
Yeah, so right out of high school, so I almost failed out of high school. I never got really good grades. I barely went to class. It was just like a total dropout. I just didn't have, that ability to do that. Turn later on, it's because I have dyslexia and ADHD, and I
Mm-hmm.
was raised in the 90s when they just didn't kind of help us in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
But out of high school, I tried community college for maybe like 2 semesters, and I just dropped out. I couldn't do it. I didn't have the money to keep going. So I was like, this is useless. What is the point? I ended up traveling all around. I went to Kentucky and North Carolina. I moved over to Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I met my husband at the time, and I had my child over there. So my son was born in Scotland.
Okay.
And through all of this, I really was raised in this kind of fundamentalist Christian household that really just taught women, you're only good for babies. And so I was like, that's what I have to do. I have to find a man. I have to find babies. And so I did. I was like 23, I think, when I met him, and we got married pretty young and
Mm-hmm.
had our baby. And that's all I did. I never went to school. I never thought I'd ever be in education. I thought all I'm good for is what are the traditional trad wife stuff is to
Mm-hmm.
do. Also, I sucked at that. I can't cook to save my life. I don't bake. I barely clean. And so nothing of that ever really sat right with me. But that's what I did for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
Until the pandemic came around, I was getting a divorce and everything kind of just blew up in my face.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I know a little bit more about you and, the challenges you faced while, doing your education and, going through that. Uh, well, I also like to know about what inspired you to start your own business and become a relationship coach.
Yeah. So if we pick back up during that pandemic time, I know the pandemic was hard for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
and it was hard in my own very specific way where I was dealing with a really bad separation at the time, which ironically enough isn't even the separation to my husband.
Mm-hmm.
He and I had been separated and divorced since about 2019. And I met this new man,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought he was everything to me,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was the love of my life. He was my soulmate, my twin flame, my everything. And then the day before the world shuts down, I mean, I literally still remember the day. It was like March 14th.
Mm-hmm.
We had just had so many fights. We were constantly going back and forth. We were on and off. And he finally just ended it. He just was, he was done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what are we doing? Like, we are all about to go into lockdown and now you want to break up? Are you kidding me? And so I was just alone. I was a
Mm-hmm.
single mom. I had to take care of my son mostly
Mm-hmm.
on my own.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have my partner at the time. I couldn't even just like go out with the girls and like go get a margarita because you weren't allowed to. So it was like, it was this incredible depression that I hit, like an intense depression, one of the worst I've ever had in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't know how I was going to get out of it. And then
Mm-hmm.
I am sitting in my own stinky funk. I haven't showered in weeks, and I'm pretty much just drinking White Claw for dinner at this point in time in my life while I
Mm-hmm.
have my son on his tablet telling him to go away. Terrible time, terrible time.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm on YouTube and I'm still Googling like how to win my ex back, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I will figure this out. I will get him back. He's the love of my life. I must figure this out. And I stumbled upon a video on attachment
Mm-hmm.
styles. And I was like, what the heck is an attachment style? And so I started looking at that and I was like, oh my God, everything this woman was telling me was everything I ever was inside of myself. I was desperate for relationships, but as soon as I had them, I pushed him away.
Mm-hmm.
I so desperately wanted my man to put in effort, but I never actually saw the effort he
Mm-hmm.
was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Here, this whole time, I'm thinking he's the emotionally, dysregulated one. He's the one that's emotionally unavailable, but it's actually me. And so I
Mm-hmm.
started digging more into this, like, what is attachment style? How is this? And some of the things online weren't making sense to me
Mm-hmm.
because they would say this, but then they would say this. And my brain was
Mm-hmm.
like, wait a second, this isn't adding up. So I started doing my own research and I was like, screw this. I need to just go back to school. And so one night I am high off my ass, to be honest. If I'm
Mm-hmm.
just being really, this is a very bad time in my life still. And I don't even remember doing this, Nitty. I'm not kidding you. But I
Mm-hmm.
woke up the next morning to an email from Mission College, which is a community college here in Santa Clara,
Mm-hmm.
saying, congratulations, you're in. And I was like, I'm in. And what did I do? Apparently, in
Mm-hmm.
my drunken high state of my body and I had no idea, I signed up for community college thinking, I need to take a psychology course. I need to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I went with that. And it's kind of just blossomed ever since. So I started both my relationship coaching and my education journey around the same time.
Okay.
I just wanted to go take a couple classes. I knew I needed to get a job to support me and my son now. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, okay, let me just get an associate's degree since, as I was saying, I never went before.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you know, I'm good at this. I'm getting help. Like, turns out when you give people accommodations,
Mm-hmm.
they can be really smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I graduate from Mission College, which is a 2-year college. I'm valedictorian. Never in a million years would I have ever thought that I could be valedictorian of anything. The girl that had like a 2.2 GPA average in high school and, dropped out of college. And then through all of this, I'm getting more clients and more women are coming to me and I'm having this ability to speak to them in a
Mm-hmm.
really just compassionate and real and authentic way of being like, oh yeah, I get it. You check his stories every day. I did the same thing. Like, I understand. Also, it's destroying us. Let's stop this. And those two things are just wrapped around each other now. And they're working together in a way where now I own this thriving academy for women, the Speak Honest Academy, where they're able to come in and learn how to become secure, how to communicate healthier with their partners, how to communicate healthier with anyone, with their coworkers, with their bosses, with their family, with their mothers, with their fathers, whatever it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get to have each other and they get to have this community together. And then on top of that, I'm double majoring in communication studies and psychology at San Jose State because I just want to understand why it is that we do what we do, especially as women. Like, why can we be like Nitty? Why can we be like these smart, capable women that are badasses that can do all this shit? And then at the same time, we're just like ruining our relationships all the time. Or we're saying things we don't want to say out loud. What's going on there? So that's where all of that encompassed and came together to do what I do today.
Wow. You really took those challenges and converted them into a winning story. And I really applaud you for that. Great job, Jen. Great job. Yeah, amazing. Well, moving on, we all know people who struggle with communication and relationships, as you mentioned. Like, we know our friends, our family. Can you tell a little bit about your relationship coaching? How do you do that? And how do you help people get over those challenges?
Yeah, such a good question. I really love coaching, specifically for the fact that we are really looking forward, like focused.
Mm-hmm.
Oftentimes in therapy and psychotherapy, what you're really going to do there is really kind of look backwards. And we do that a little bit because we have to, especially when it comes to attachment styles. We have to understand your childhood and kind of where the trauma is coming from. And that's one of the steps in learning what your attachment stance is. But we take it to the next level. Like, I mean, I've been in therapy since I was like 17 years old. And honestly, it didn't do much for me because all we did was talk and talk and talk and talk. And the greatest part about coaching is how we think, okay, well, what do you want? Like, what is it that you are excited about? What is it that you need from your partner? What is your next step that you want to do? And so that's what I do with the women inside of my academy. They come in there and we do a course. So I wrote this book called Dance of Attachment, which is essentially just a book around the 4 main attachment styles, which I can go into in a little bit, but also how to heal them, like how to earn secure attachment to be able to get to that place where you're having those healthy conversations. So inside the academy, I have this key course that I have every woman go through because we can't talk about anything else unless you go through these 5 steps, which is the Dance of Attachment course. And in the Dance of Attachment course, we are learning how to identify our attachment stance, how to heal it, how to alleviate the pain that comes with it, how to know what we need so we can communicate this with our partners, and then eventually how to embody secure attachment, how to just live it, how not to be perfect, but how to just live it, how to make mistakes, you know, how to knock over your glass of wine in a date and be okay with it and be like, oh, that's just part of who I am now. And being able to get to that space with these women, it's so powerful because they don't realize that so often in healing, they just have this big aha moment and they're like, oh, I'm anxiously attached. Great. Now I can fix it. But we intellectualize stuff so much up here in our heads that we forget that we have to integrate it. And so part of doing that within community, within women, is being able to have a space to actually integrate the knowledge you've been learning the whole time. So inside of the academy, we meet weekly where they get to come and bring their problems. Like, Jen, I tried the communication script we talked about last week. It blew up in my face. He's not talking to me. What do I do? And it's like, okay, great. Because with all the information we have, that doesn't mean our partner's going to do the perfect way that we expect them to act when we create these scripts. So you come back, you talk about it more. And then through that kind of back and forth, that's the integration. That's the learning. And then eventually you'll be able to get there on your own, which is a beautiful space to be in. And the goal, but you have that membership, that you have that ability to come and be with us every week. So that way, you know, you're never alone in your healing journey.
Okay, that's good to know. Like, you know, integration, you know, women gathering all the information and, you know, talking out and figuring out what to do, how can they improve and, you know, go about the relationships and make them better.
Exactly.
Yep, that's great. So, Jen, I'm also curious, what do you think people need most in relationships today?
I love that. Something that I think people need most in relationships today is really just a sense of slowing down.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is we don't have to fix things right now. We don't have to fix things even tomorrow. We can lean back, trust our instincts, and just kind of see, okay, what is it that we need in the future? And there's a phrase out there, and I know it's meant for good, but it's actually like a bugbear of mine, which is like, don't go to bed angry. Screw that. Go to bed angry. Like, if you don't go to bed angry, then you're going to regret the things that you're about to say that night. Trust me. You want to be able to slow things down, be in a regulated space in order to actually be able to have these conversations. And inside of my book, Dance of Attachment, and inside of the course, I teach this process called the RAISE method. And the RAISE method is kind of a 5-step method to having healthy conversations. And the first step is remove. And that is remove yourself from that conversation right now, girl. Like, do not stop talking, right? You can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. So you need to get out ASAP. Go take a walk. My favorite thing is just pretending like you have to go to the bathroom. If that's like, I gotta pee, you know what I mean? And then just go sit on the toilet and then just breathe. Because the next step of that is anchoring, right? So if we have R and then A, anchoring. And anchoring just means ground yourself. Breathe. Notice the colors on the wall. Feel your hands where they are. Maybe splash your face with some water. And the next part of that you're going to do is you're going to look internally. And you're going to check in. How do I feel? Am I sad? my angry, my frustrated. And I want you to get into real internal feelings in those
Mm-hmm.
moments, not actually just be like, well, I feel like he's an asshole. No, that's not a feeling statement, sweetheart, right? That's that's a perception, that's a
Yeah,
story.
yeah,
I feel angry that I think he's an asshole is what it is.
yeah.
So get there. Next is just going to be checking those stories. That's the S, checking those stories that are going on in your head. He's not listening to me. He doesn't care about me. He doesn't love me. He doesn't respect me. Oh, if we're
Mm-hmm.
there, we are not going to be. Can you imagine if you
Mm-hmm.
feel that way about someone? How do you think you're going to go talk to them? Right? If you genuinely think in your heart of hearts, this man does not care about me, how are you going to go in there loving? You can't. So
Yeah.
you've got to question that, which is the last one, which is just equilibrate, which is just the word meaning equalize, right? Just
Uh-huh.
equilibrate those stories. He
Mm.
doesn't care about me.
Mm.
Well, that's not true. He filled up my gas yesterday. He
Mm-hmm.
took the kids out to the park.
Yeah, yeah.
Last weekend. He does try, and he's really busy at work, right? So we're going to equilibrate. Once we get to that space, we can then have those hard conversations with the people in our lives that matter most.
Okay, okay. So you said firstly remove and then anchoring,
Mm-hmm.
then, look back at your feelings,
Yeah,
m-
internalize. Yeah, look
internalize.
internal.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That's the
internally.
I.
Yeah, and check for those stories.
Yes.
And lastly said equilibrium. So
Yeah, equilibrate. Yeah, it's a
equilibrium,
weird word, but that's kind of like that version of it. Equilibrate, which just
equilibrate,
means if you think, oh my God,
balance.
he doesn't love me,
Uh-huh.
just catch that. Be like, yes, he does. Because, girl, like, seriously, if we're thinking to ourselves, he doesn't love me, then why are we there? If we
Mm-hmm.
truly believe, I say this all the time, I just catch him out. I'm like, if you truly believe he doesn't love you, then why are you with him? I'm like,
Yeah.
no, well, he does love me because of this. Aha, see?
Yeah, basically taking a moment and figuring out what's going on, thinking clearly instead of throwing those angry thoughts and feelings out there.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That makes a lot of sense. I'm going to probably apply this whenever I'm going to have
Good.
in
I
my
apply
next
it every day, trust me.
Good to know. Good to know. So, Jen, I would like to move towards building business, shifting gears here. So, building a business, especially one centered around helping people, can be both meaningful as well as challenging at times. So, I want to know what were some of your biggest challenges you faced when you started your business?
I'd say the biggest challenge when I first started
Mm-hmm.
was not understanding how everyone does everything online. Like you have these big ideas, like, great, I'm going to have a membership.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but how?
Mm-hmm.
Like where are we hosting this stuff?
Yeah.
How are we getting email addresses? Like how are you doing ads? Like the very technical side of things
Mm-hmm.
that made no sense to me. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
even understand how to send out mass emails when I started.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never had anything like that. So that's where I first started, the biggest challenge. Once I got that in, the challenge that I'm at right now at around year 3
Mm-hmm.
is just honestly putting butts in the seats. It's just finding clients. I
Mm-hmm.
have the ad set up now. I have the funnel systems that you need to have. I have the lead generators that they talk about, the free things that you give out to people. I'm going on different people's podcasts. I'm doing all the right things.
Mm-hmm.
But the world is in a really weird space right now.
Mm-hmm.
Especially America right now is in a very weird space right now. And people would consider coaching a luxury. And so right now it's not on top of mind. And it's not how I would see it. Of course, I would think relationship coaching is the number one thing we should all
Yeah.
be focusing on right
Yeah.
now. Because if we don't have our relationships, what do we have?
Yeah.
And also, I want to be so mindful that people don't have, even though my membership is what, $97 a month. Sure, that sounds great, but not everybody has that. And it's a privileged place to be able to say that's not that much money. So being able to find this balance in my own kind of heart space of wanting to help people, giving out scholarships, helping, people coming in, getting all these things, trying to reach out into the city domain to get more scholarship money for the women coming in, to keep the lights on here. That's been a business balance that I hadn't really understood before, which is like, oh my God, when you are in the business of helping people, it is difficult to get to that like sales space. I've been in sales.
Okay.
Sales are fine. But when it's like clothing and jewelry, and I can be like, girl, that looks great on you. Oh my God, that blue pulls out your eyeballs so well. Like that's easy. But if all of a sudden I'm like, no, but I need you to pay me to help you. There's like an imposterism that comes with that. that makes it difficult for me to ask that of anyone. So I'd
Mhm.
say before was the tech down.
Okay.
I got that now. It's wild what I know. It's weird how I could talk about like CRAs and I keep my metrics going and I know what my percentage of my
Okay.
like cost per lead is.
Okay.
Those words are like wild to me that I understand.
Uh-huh.
But seeing the women that come into my program as real people,
Mhm.
and I will never manipulate them into buying my program.
Mhm.
And that's what every business coach seems to teach out there.
Okay.
And so trying to find that authenticity for myself and
Mhm.
learning, okay, if I trust this process, they will come.
Mhm.
But also I need them to come a little bit sooner because
Yeah.
we have to keep this thing running. So trying, and I just love being honest about that though, because people see me and they're like, oh, Jen, you're so successful. You have this book, you have a podcast, you've
Mhm.
got your TEDx talk. I'm like, yeah, that's great. But financially, I'm not where I want to be.
Mhm.
I'm in the red. I've been in the red for 3 years. And I think if as business women,
Mhm.
we are not honest about this,
Yeah.
we are all going to be looking at each other, comparing and wondering, why am I not like her? Why am I not like her?
Mhm.
It's like, I am so successful in so ways. I am not successful in other ways.
Yeah.
The more we can be honest about that, I think the more we can rise and lift each other up.
Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Yeah, that must be challenging, first understanding the tech related issues and then getting clients, more and more clients that trust you with your course, things that you're offering. Okay. So, Jen, I want to know, how did you build confidence in yourself and your work over time?
Mm. The number one way that I built confidence in myself over time is the process that I teach the ladies in my program. So
Mm-hmm.
I specifically work with what are called attachment wounds. And attachment wounds is just another fancy word for limited beliefs
Okay.
or these I am statements.
Mm-hmm.
So when we don't have confidence,
Mm-hmm.
we're often thinking, I'm not enough.
Yeah.
I'm not smart enough. I'm not pretty enough.
Yeah.
I'm not thin enough. I'm not rich enough. I'm
Mm.
not insert here enough,
Mm-hmm.
right? It can also be, I'm stupid. I'm incapable.
Yeah.
I'm never going to make anything. Who do I think I am?
Yeah.
Right? We have these limited beliefs coming out of our head, and we get those from childhood and that they're reinforced inside of us. And each one of us have our own little beautiful fingerprint of the wounds.
Yeah.
Everyone has their own little like snowflake, as I call it, of their own attachment wound system that they have together. Mine is a fun little mix of like, I am a burden, I am too much, and I am annoying, right? So those are mine. Well, usually sprinkled in with like a, I am useless and incapable and lazy underneath there. That's kind of like my little snowflake. And so learning how to rewire our nervous system to feel safe again and to not believe those as truths, but as just other possibilities that exist in the world. And I do this through a process called somatic affirmations. Now, somatic affirmations is a triangular model system used to rewire our brains, because our brains are very neuroplastic.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have these, and this is where I get really nerdy and geeky now.
Yeah.
Okay, we have neurons all firing
Yeah.
and wiring together in our bodies, and our neurons fire and wire together. So, for example, a flinch response. If I were to throw this pencil at you, Nitty, and I just like threw it at your face, you'd flinch,
Yeah,
right? Like
yeah.
even if I didn't try to hit you, I just went
Yeah.
like that. Now we're
Exactly.
on, video here, so it's not the same. But even so, I could get really close to you and still get you to flinch potentially.
Yeah.
Well, why are you flinching? Did you say to yourself, "Oh, move out of the way"? No, it was a natural reaction. And why was it a natural reaction? Because as a child, if you got hit in the face, it hurt. So what do you think you're going to do if something's coming at your face again? You're going to flinch.
Yeah, that's right.
But your body taught you that. Your neurons are now firing and wiring together, meaning something is coming towards my face. I must flinch and move. There's no difference to that as it is, oh, an opportunity came my way. I'm not good enough. I have to flinch and move.
Oh, okay. That was.
Our bodies are built in a way in which we have muscle memory. We attach certain actions to certain outcomes. And this is the beautiful things that humans have. We have pattern recognition. It's why we are the way we are today, right? It's why we have evolved in who we are today. It's a beautiful, wonderful thing. Now we've taken it a bit too far, and now it's kind of taking us down a little bit, and we want to catch that. So we do this process where we take an I am statement.
Yeah.
So for this example, I am enough. And that's our affirmation. But affirmations alone don't work. Affirmations alone typically get stuck in our minds and our bodies. We don't really think about them. Honestly, if you're not careful, it can actually do the opposite, because you'll be like, I'm enough. And then your little body's going to be like, no, you're not.
Oh, okay.
You didn't even cook your kids' dinner today, you lazy piece of shit. Excuse my language, right? Like this is like, unless you know, mine does this all the time, right? It's like, you didn't even hang the laundry up. It's still sitting in the washer.
Mm,
You lazy.
mm,
Like, and it's like, okay, calm down.
mm,
So we say, I'm enough. But then
mm,
we have to find evidence.
mm.
So that's the first step. Then we're going to feel it in our bodies. That's the third step. And the second step, excuse me. And then the third step is when we do this, which is during our alpha theta brainwave state,
Mhm.
which is just that kind of like state right as we're about to fall asleep or right when we're first waking up in the morning. That's when our
Okay.
brains are most plastic, are most moldable,
Uh-huh.
spongiest. And so this three-step kind of
Uh-huh.
system where we find the evidence,
Evidence. Mm-hmm.
actual, real evidence of
Mm-hmm.
you being a badass that day or the day before, whatever. Because
Uh-huh.
sometimes it's hard in the beginning. But I'm talking not like, okay, I am lovable.
Uh-huh.
I am loved.
Mm,
Great. Who loves you?
mm,
Great. Well, my mom loves me. Fine. No,
mm.
no. How?
Yeah.
What did she do
Mm-hmm.
today
Mm-hmm.
to show you that she loved you?
Mm-hmm.
Like, tell me evidence, like actual lived memory. Then you're going to remember what it felt like in your body.
Okay. Yeah.
This is
Getting
the
your point.
somatic part.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is the butterflies in your stomach or the lightness in your chest
Mm-hmm.
or the excitement in your hands. Maybe you get like a little bit like that, or you feel like tingling in your legs. And these
Mm-hmm.
are all good feelings. Like that feeling you get if you like this, going down a roller coaster, or that feeling you get when the Christmas tree lights up, or when your favorite food is brought out
Mm-hmm.
for dinner and you're like, yay, that yay feeling. What does that feel like?
Mm-hmm.
If we can feel that and we can remember that,
Mm-hmm.
whilst our brains are most mushy,
Okay.
technical term, sure,
Yeah.
all of a sudden our neurons, they aren't going to be firing and wiring together in a way where they're scared.
Uh-huh.
They're going to fire and wire together in a way in which they help you. They
Okay.
tell you you are enough.
Uh-huh.
You are capable. You are
Okay.
amazing. So that's where my confidence comes from now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I still struggle all the time. We always struggle. My
Yeah.
confidence comes from remembering that I am just inherently worthy,
Mm-hmm.
remembering that I am allowed to take up space,
Mm-hmm.
and then understanding that I am a fully fledged human that is lovable and capable and enough and valued and wanted.
Yeah.
And I just have to find the people who help me feel that way.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Wow, that's so amazing, Jen. Uh, I can relate it to my kids when I shout at them. Sometimes when it's necessary, I can understand, like what they go through and what their bodies go through. And same thing with me when I was little. Sometimes I was being too lazy, and if my parents like they were there to scold me, I stored few things inside, and probably they are wired in me. And how
Yeah.
I can change is, you said, when we are in a mushy state, we can rewire those things and make them, that can make me feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Great, great. That's really, or probably, you're talking about neuroplasticity, how
Maybe.
we can
Yeah.
learn new things and rewire those brain connections.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And in fact, if I could just speak on it for 1 second, I actually just applied for my first research study around somatic affirmation. So we're waiting to hear back from the IRB this
Mm-hmm.
month or into June. And it's really exciting because I want to take this into a more evidence-based lens. And so the world of somatics is quite woo to some people.
Okay.
It's like, is it real? And even just recently, new things are coming out like, oh,
Yeah.
the vagus nerve isn't real, or the body doesn't actually keep the score. All these like people in science are coming out and trying to refute all this stuff. So I feel like one of my missions in life is through the research of really learning that this stuff does work, like feeling our body,
Yeah.
knowing what that actually feels like.
Yeah.
Is the number one way that we start to counterbalance all of these heavy kind of weights that we put on our shoulders, so to speak, when we don't believe in ourselves and we don't have the confidence and we're yelling at people and, we don't go for that promotion or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow, that makes really lot of sense, and I'm so happy that you found a way to build confidence in yourself and others. Great. So Jen, you wear multiple hats as a mom, as a coach, as a podcast host, a speaker. How do you balance everything?
Yeah, that's such a great question because the balancing comes from understanding our attachment needs.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I teach inside of the book, I believe it's like chapter 7,
Mm-hmm.
is really how to identify our attachment needs.
Mm-hmm.
And we do that by asking ourselves just lots of different questions. So, what do we spend our money on? What do we think about all the time? What books are we reading? Who do you follow on social media? What could you sit there and like do a TED talk about, right? Like if I said to you, here's a microphone, Nitty, what do you want to go talk about for a half hour?
Uh-huh.
That actually is more telling than we realize.
Okay.
That showcases to us what's important to us, what our values are, what our needs are.
Mm-hmm.
Our attachment needs are not something to shame. So if I ask you, what do you spend your money on? I don't want to hear, oh, I invest my money and, I give it to the poor or whatever. It's like, no, I want to know, like, I'm getting my nails done and I buy fancy lashes. Like, I don't care. Like, I want us to be real and honest with ourselves about what we're spending our money on.
Mm-hmm.
So if that, like me, I love nails. I love stuff like that. It's like, okay, oh, that means I have a high need for beauty,
Yeah.
for creativity, for color.
Yeah.
I'm expansive. I love that kind of stuff. But also I have a high need for nature. I love being outside, but I don't like bugs, right? So you have to like find those balances. I have a high need for comfort, but also adventure. So how can I mix those two things together? If you actually understand who you are and in alignment with who you want to be, then it's wild how much more time in the day we actually have. Because the only reason why we are quote unquote self-sabotaging, which I always say in quotes because I don't believe in self-sabotage, but I understand that's how we talk about it in the world. But the reason why we're self-sabotaging is because our bodies are a needs meeting machine. Everything we're doing is meeting a need. I'm talking to you right now, I'm meeting a need. You're talking to me, you're meeting a need.
Yeah.
we decided to come on and do this because it's both meeting enough needs inside of us that we follow through. But then what happens when you're on the couch and you're just watching TikTok all the time, or you get stuck in a book and you're not doing the work you're supposed to be doing? But again, quotes on supposed to, because I often say, well, why do you have to do that? Like, maybe you're not going to the gym for a reason. Maybe you don't like the gym. Maybe there's something else you want to be doing. And so instead of shaming ourselves into thinking we're lazy, which laziness doesn't exist, right? Laziness is just the outward appearance of not doing something that you think society thinks you should be doing. Instead of doing that, we could ask ourselves, why are we doing this thing right now? Why am I sitting on the couch eating ice cream instead of going to the gym like I'm quote unquote supposed to do? Like, well, maybe you need comfort.
Yeah.
Maybe you haven't been giving yourself that much time and attention. Maybe your little girl wanted to be taken out for ice cream. And until we actually sit down and enjoy that ice cream with her, we're going to keep craving it. But how many times do we grab the ice cream and then shame ourselves in the middle of eating that ice cream? And that shame keeps us stuck.
Okay.
And so we don't want to do that. We want to be able to actually figure out. So I can wear all these hats because I'm just really good at being able to balance my yeses and my nos lately. Even this summer, I'm taking a little bit of a step back from some work and the academy. And I'm just trying to be a little bit more. I can't wait. I just want to binge watch The Pit. I don't know if you know that show, but like that's like my goal right now is I just want to like start binge watching TV. I haven't done it in ages.
Yeah.
That's my summer goal. And I will binge watch the hell out of this TV and feel great about it. And that gives me more energy for later. So people are like, how do you even have time to binge watch TV? And it's like, because I've gotten all this other work done and I'm just living my best self now, being able to balance what it is I need to do and find the time where I can. And then it just fuels me and fuels me and fuels me. And it's amazing.
Good to know. Like, you can wear so many hats, but you have to fulfill your own needs. Figure out what are those and don't shame yourself for doing those. And you can grow, you can blossom if you can fulfill your needs. That's what I'm getting out of this talk.
Exactly it. Yep.
That's wonderful. And I think many people will connect with this, what you have said. And I remember doing that, not going to the gym because my weight was, I gained some weight and it was hard to lose it. But I want to eat something sweet every day. So there you go, probably satisfy my need and then probably spend 20 minutes extra in the gym to burn
Yeah.
those calories might work.
And then you can ask yourself, why do I want that sweet thing? Right? You can be like, well, what is this sweet thing giving me? And do I like the long-term effect of it or just the short-term effect? And you get to
Mm-hmm.
start asking yourself those questions. It's like, well, I really love this cupcake, but actually it's just bringing me comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's a better way I can get that comfort because
Mm-hmm.
I know that if I keep eating this, I'm gonna have to spend those 20 extra minutes in the gym, and I don't want to do that. Yeah, so it's completely. You're like, no, yes, I've decided. I like those extra 20 minutes. I'm definitely gonna eat this cupcake. I'm gonna have this ice cream. This
Yeah.
is perfect for me. The best part is we get to make those choices for ourselves now in
Mm-hmm.
alignment with who we are,
Mm-hmm.
not based on what anyone else thinks.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's really powerful. And you know, it's really great that you have mentioned like fulfilling your needs and then do what you need to do. I think that that is a way to achieve so many things instead of feeling stuck.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Jen, what are some important lessons you have learned from running your business?
Hmm. I'd say probably the most important lesson I've learned from running my business is
Mm-hmm.
just learning how to trust myself more
Mm-hmm.
and just really learning how things are not going to go the way you expect them to.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can have these ideas about metrics and numbers
Mm-hmm.
and things that you want to hit, but in the end there are other ways to track that
Okay.
and trusting your body to know that that is the right way to do it,
Mm-hmm.
understanding and trusting of, okay, I didn't hit my numbers this month, and also I changed lives, or I helped so much, or I learned something new,
Mm-hmm.
or insert thing here that doesn't usually go with the grain. And being able to trust myself in those moments allow me to feel more fulfilled where I am in the business
Mm-hmm.
when potentially the numbers don't match that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. So according to you, trusting yourself is the biggest lesson that you have learned by running your business.
Yes, yes, yeah, because you're gonna get, oh goodness, you're gonna get a lot of feedback. You
Yeah.
should be doing this.
Yeah.
You should be doing this. You should be doing this. Like,
Yeah.
and I mean, you know what it's like too when you go out into places. It's like getting feedback on a speech in Toastmasters, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
gonna like go, but they say be careful because if you start taking on everyone's feedback, you're gonna lose the essence of your speech, and your story because you're trying to please everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the same goes in business.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's okay to listen to people, but right, people are like, oh, you should do this on social media. Be like, girl, I wish I could. I don't have
Yeah.
the time or energy to right
Yeah.
now. Do you want to
Yeah.
offer your services? Because, like, oh, you should have a YouTube channel.
Mm.
I agree. I have no time.
Yeah.
Like, so it's like I have all these hats and I'm doing all these things, but people will always want more from you.
Mm-hmm.
But if we let that, and it used to get to be in the beginning, like someone was like, oh, you should do this. Great, I'll go do that. Oh, you should do this. Great, I'll go do that.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, slow
Yeah.
down. Like,
Yeah.
that seems to be a theme that we keep talking about as well. Slowing down
Yeah. Yeah.
and checking in. That's where somatics comes in. Somatics is just so much, just your body. It's just your ability to say, does this feel right? Right?
Uh-huh.
Even the same thing. You and I met, and you're like, oh, hey, I'd love to have you on. And I was like, yeah, let me check in. Do I have the time right now?
Mm.
And I felt bad. If we can actually speak about that, I think I felt bad in a hot minute because I had to wait. I had to like push you out for like 3 weeks
Mm-hmm.
because I was so busy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, oh, I really want to talk with her,
Mm-hmm.
but I need to wait till I finish this chunk of life to get there. And then, of course, those old thoughts are going to come in. Oh, she won't want me. She's going to think I disrespect her. She's going to, hear all of that, right? It's like, wait, no, trust myself.
Yeah.
If she doesn't want you, that's okay. But this is all you have to offer right now.
Yeah.
And the more we can be honest with that
Mm-hmm.
and trust ourselves, then the more stuff starts to flow in for us, more than we realize.
Yeah, yeah. On that point, I totally relate with you. As a mom, as a woman, you have multiple things going on and you are juggling so many things. But, you rightly said, if you trust yourself, and, sometimes you have to push things out to make things for other, buckets in your life.
Exactly.
And that's how, good things will flow to you. So, trusting yourself is a big thing, and I totally agree with you on that one. And
I love that. Yes.
and what you said, pushing out things, I also do that. So no mom guilt there. Great, great. So let's shift our gears here, and I want to talk to you about podcasting and communication. So I would love to talk a little bit about podcasting and communication, since you are such it's such a big part of your work. So what has podcasting taught you personally and professionally?
Podcast has taught me so much, both personally and professionally.
Mm-hmm.
Again, personally, it just really taught me how to be patient, how to but also just how to plan and how to give up control.
Okay.
Meaning, I think I did my first 20 episodes on my own.
Okay.
And I nearly burnt out. I was like, this is not for me. This is not
Mm-hmm.
going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was talking to a business coach of mine, and she was like, well, why don't we find you an editor? And
Okay.
she's like, here, here's someone that I know that's an editor for me, and he's really good. And that's the day I started learning how to hire out
Mm-hmm.
and how to ask questions to hire out. And so I got this podcast editor, and I still work with them today, 2 years later. And being able to have that
Mm-hmm.
allows me to be able to do the things I want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to talk. I just want to talk all the time. It's just talk, 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 talk. Right. I can do that all day. In fact, I can't wait till one day I can hire out even more. Right. But baby steps.
Uh-huh.
But in that regards, it teaches me, how do I consolidate my thoughts?
Uh-huh.
How do I concisely say the thing that I'm trying to say to my
Mm-hmm.
audience?
Mm-hmm.
It also allows me to just keep creating content for my clientele, for my audience. It gives me something to do every week. So even though sometimes, and I'm honest about this,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, I don't want to record a podcast this week. I am so busy. I don't want to do this. Like, what am I doing? Every other week, I'm constantly like, maybe I don't have to do one every week. I've done it every Wednesday at 6 a.m. It's gone out on time every single week
Okay.
for 2 years, because I've
Wow.
learned I need that consistency,
Mm-hmm.
and that podcasting just really helps me. It also, I learn a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Like I am able, when I'm doing my research for classes or for my own research study now, I'm
Mm-hmm.
able to take that information,
Mm-hmm.
consolidate it, put it together in like a 3-point system so I can share it in one of my 15-minute episodes.
Okay.
But my favorite episodes that I do is when I do coaching
Okay.
on there. And there's these beautiful women that will just come in and feel vulnerable enough to share their story with the world. And
Mm-hmm.
I coach them, and it allows other people to see how coaching can actually help. And it allows people to see how I coach, which is like a
Mm-hmm.
win-win.
Mm-hmm.
And those, and then it allows me to go back sometimes, and I always listen to my own podcast, because
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly wanting to see, like, what did I say? How did I say that? What
Mm-hmm.
should I talk more about next week? What should I do more of?
Mm-hmm.
And that just helps to get more confident,
Mm-hmm.
to get more understanding of who I am.
Mm-hmm.
And those first few episodes when I had to listen to myself speak I hated it so much. I'm sure you understand. You're
Yeah.
like editing yourself down. You're
Yeah.
like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, why do I say right all the time? Like,
Yeah.
stop saying,
Mm-hmm.
But like, as speakers, if we can do that for ourselves, we learn so much
Mm-hmm.
more.
Mm-hmm.
And again, that comes with part of that confidence, and that being like, well, I'm allowed to make mistakes, and that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. So how can I make this better?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Great, great. So you said you learn to be patient, and you learn to, delegate work, and, focus on what you really want to do. Um, okay. And last thing, you said one more thing. I'm forgetting that. Being
I forget
patient.
what I say all the time, so I'm so sorry. I don't. I'll be in my group coaching with my clients, and I'll say something. Apparently, it'll be really profound, really
Mm-hmm.
impactful, and they'll be like, "Can you say that again?" And I'll be like, "Nope, it came out once. It's never coming out again."
But yeah, yeah, great things, coming out that I can gather, being patient and delegating work and focus on what you really want to do.
Yeah. Oh, and I think just the ending was like being confident enough in yourself. When
Yeah.
you're listening to yourself, it actually just teaches you more about who you
Yeah.
are. You're like, oh, I explain things this way. Oh,
Yeah.
I say right way too much. I say so. So is my filler word. So.
Yeah.
Okay. So how can I work on that in the future to be more concise?
Getting better, looking at what you have done or what you have said. That was the last point.
Exactly.
We
Exactly.
got it. Okay, Jen. Before we wrap up, I would love to ask you few questions that might inspire people this podcast, listening to this podcast. So, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own business but feels unsure and afraid?
Hmm. I, to someone out there that wants to start your own business, but you feel unsure and afraid, is this going to go against what I feel like a lot of business coaches say? I want you to listen to that fear,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to really, really hear it.
Mm-hmm.
Because so many people are like, forget the fear, jump right in. Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, you're going to end up in debt like I am
Yeah.
right now, right? Like, you're going to listen to way too many people being like, it's fine. It's not fine. Like, you need to listen to those parts of your body that's trying to tell you something. And the more you're able to actually listen to those parts of you, the more you're going to able to make proper decisions based on who you are in an alignment, and then actually check yourself and say, okay, I have fear for starting. Great. What is your fear?
Okay.
Well, my fear is I will fail. Well, what does failure mean to you? Right? Like, keep digging. And if the real fear is I fear that I'm not going to have any money. Great. So what do we need to do? Let's keep the job you're at now, or let's have a really big savings before you start then. So see what I mean? Like, so many people jump into business right now without thinking.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that that's actually that responsible. And I feel like that's what was taught to us for a while. It's like, oh, you want to do it? Just dive right in. And it's like, maybe don't. Maybe have a second job. Have this be your side hustle for a while. Allow it space to build, and don't believe the hype you see online. Like, if you see someone online telling you they're going to help you make $10,000 in a month, like, that's just bullshit. Like, it just is, because all they're doing is it's just an MLM out there, right? If I could get on my soapbox for like one hot second, it's just one big LMM out there, which is, just those like little triangle things of saying, for $1,000, I'll teach you how to make $10,000 a month. Yeah. But all they're going to do is teach you how to teach that to 10 people, to 10 people, to 10 people, until it must. And we're going to start seeing the coaching industry implode on itself soon if we're not careful. Because the only people out there that are currently kind of making money are business coaches that are selling total snake oil crap. So just be careful. Listen to your instincts, listen to your fears, follow them out, and then put the systems in place to work with those fears. It takes the average business 5 years. 5 years until it can feel comfortable. You can be in the red for the first 3 to 4. So understand, are you okay with that? Do you have the systems in place to be in that red? Do you have the systems in place to just break even? And if you don't, get those systems in place so you keep going. If you want this and you can envision yourself in the next 5 years, then do it. But if it's just like a side quest, just be careful.
Great, great things. Listening to your fears, whether it's failure or something else, if you know them, and if you want to do a side hustle instead of jumping right into the business, that's a great advice. And you said building systems first before you get into. So I think they are such a wonderful advice for anyone who wants to start their own business. Keeping these things in your mind will give you a right mindset to go build the business you want to do. With that, my next question is, if someone listening today wants to improve their relationship or communication, what are some simple steps they can take?
The simplest step to take in any relationship is listen to understand, not to respond.
Okay.
If that is the number one thing, I could just like flip a switch into every single person. Just start there. Like, truly listen to your partner. Your partner is coming to you and saying, this thing hurt me. Not be like, yeah, well, I did this for you and I did this for you and it can't hurt you because of this and this. That's listening to respond. If we just take a moment, even if he's not doing it, if we can just take a moment to truly hear him, to truly get to a place where we don't take it personal, that has the potential to completely revolutionize your entire relationship. It truly just does. I know it's easy in word. What's the word I'm looking for? It's like, it's easy and it's hard in practice, simple to say. Like, easier said than done. Oh my God, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail there, because sometimes it happens with me and my husband. He wants to say something, but I'm like, no, you did this, you are wrong. But I'm not listening to what he wants to say. So Yeah.
Exactly. And it's hard because you're like, well, why should I have to listen if he's not listening?
Yeah.
That's a different topic. But the only thing we can control right now is that we listen to understand. The more we understand, then
Mm-hmm.
the better chance we have of keeping the conversation at a compassionate and productive level.
Wow. I totally love this. Totally love this. You
Yeah.
being a, relationship coach and such a beautiful advice for people there to listen to your partner. Uh, just listen calmly and understand. And if you can just do that, your relationship will be much more better.
Completely.
Hopefully, I will apply this and my husband will be very happy with me.
Hopefully, I apply this to my life too. No, it's like I said, it's simpler, easier said than done. I still catch myself being like, "You're not listening to me," and he's like, "Hon, you're not listening to me right now. What's going on?" And I'm like, "You're right. Sorry, I'm human."
Yeah. So that leads us to my last question. So how do you personally define success and fulfillment today?
I would say that I personally define success and fulfillment as something that feels right in your body.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that on a somatic level.
Mm-hmm.
Success oftentimes looks like making money, finances, doing well, having people follow you, all of that stuff. And it can be,
Mm-hmm.
but does it feel right to you inside of your body? Do you feel like you're doing what you were meant to be doing if you are making this money? People can make tons of money,
Mm-hmm.
but not feel right in their body. People make no money, feel right in their body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I understand there's a balance there of being like, well, I like doing this thing. And in order to do this thing, I have to make the money. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
then we'll fix that and we'll work on that. But in doubt, success is about being able to feel in alignment with who you are, like
Mm-hmm.
who you are as a person. Who am I? And
Mm-hmm.
until we understand that, then that's the tough question. But if you get there, if you
Mm-hmm.
have that, that's success. Fulfillment is the ability to take the good, the bad, and the growing and put it all together and understand that that is part of it. So that's why I often say I help women have fulfilling relationships, not happy ones, not happy ones. Okay. Like I want to be clear on that. Fulfilling,
Uh-huh.
satisfied
Mm-hmm.
relationships because satisfaction comes from having the good and the bad
Mm-hmm.
and overlapping them
Mm-hmm.
and being able to see that we need all of that.
Mm-hmm.
We need all of the spectrum of the feelings. We need sadness and
Mm-hmm.
happiness and
Mm-hmm.
disappointment and excitement and anger and relief.
Mm-hmm.
If we have all of that together, that's what actual fulfillment feels like.
Mm-hmm. Sounds great. Uh, what feels right to you and your body, and balancing out how much you're making, but the energy and time you're spending doing something, but it doesn't feel right to your body. It's just waste of that money. So if
Exactly.
you can balance that, that's wonderful. Well, Jen, thank you so much for sharing your journey with us today, and I really appreciate your honesty and the meaningful work you have done to help people build healthier relationship and strong connections. I'm sure many people listening to this will feel inspired by your story and experiences.
Thank you so much for having me. It was an honor.
Okay, thanks, Jen, and have a good day.